Welcome back to the Next Gen Prophets podcast. We are your big brother, your sister, your mentors, Deborah-Anne
and Michael Velthuysen.
It has been forever. I missed our prophets so much. I am amped to be back on the microphone and to share with you what God has for you in today's podcast. But before we do that, Michael, say hello and tell our prophets what we've been up to.
Hey, prophets, how's it going? Oh my goodness, it is so good to be back in the studio again behind this microphone. I see each and every single one of you here sitting with us. So come on, pull up a chair at this table. Let's get talking. Let's get walking. Let's get working. Prophets, it has been a crazy time. We are launching our new prophetic school curriculum on myprophetictribe.com. And we are actually expanding the borders with a brand new curriculum, courses that have not been taught before. We're doing this for you. We are amping up the process for you, prophet, so that you can go out and learn what we do. You're going to learn how to mentor people. You're going to learn how to be the leader. You're going to learn how to establish your own prophetic school. And by the end of this 18-month program on myprophetictribe.com, you will learn how to be that prophetic champion.
We're raising the bar on the prophetic, and we are inviting you to join us on this journey to do that. And with that being said, it leads beautifully into today's podcast because our apostles already set the stage yesterday when they told you what a champion looks like.
Come on.
With these two specific things. One, a champion has a leader to follow, and two, a people to serve. But now, prophetic champions, it's time to take action and solidify your position as a prophetic champion to your apostle. And so we're going to go over 3 steps of action you can take right after you get off this podcast to solidify that place. And we're going to start with a scripture reading in Hebrews 13:17. Have confidence in your leaders and submit to their authority because they keep watch over you as those who must give an account. Do this so that their work will be a joy, not a burden, for that would be of no benefit to you.
I remember this time in the ministry center up in Descanso where the ground was so hard. It was so tough to plant anything, whether it was grass, vegetables, roses, mint, whatever, whichever plant or vegetable you can think of. It was a struggle. There's gophers, there's moles, there's circumstances with the weather. But one day in particular, I remember I was busy tilling this hard ground. And my spiritual father walked up to me and he said, "Mike, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm literally tilling ground and it's not working. I'm hurting my hands. My hands are like starting to go kind of blue because I kept hitting with force and nothing happened." And he turned to me and he said, "You're not using your momentum. You're just hitting the ground and it's not doing anything. Lift it up, put your foot on it, and use your momentum." Guys, within 5 seconds, I pierced that ground and I could rip up and till the ground from underneath itself. And I looked at him, I said, "This is so easy." And he said, "When you do it right, it becomes easy. It's no longer a burden." And prophets, it's the same thing that applies to you here. When the ground is heavy and the ground is hard, do it the right way. Don't just be like arrogant me, thinking I know better and trying to do it my way, which doesn't work for that environment. Do it with momentum. Do it the right way, where it's no longer a burden like that scripture said, but you actually are benefiting from it. You are making progress. You are putting your hand to the plow. And that for me, prophet, is when I turned and I knew that my leader, my spiritual father, had my best interest at heart because he could see I was struggling. He looked at me and he said, "You are struggling. I see you're in pain. Let me help you. Let me direct you. Let me actually give you the answer so that you can do this effectively." Once I did that, just that simple act, my spiritual father began to lean on me on little tasks around the house. I got an opportunity to learn from him. I got an opportunity to gain his trust just by being obedient and letting him teach me something I did not know before.
That line right there. Let him teach you something you don't know. Your leader has something to teach you. They have lived a life you
Come on.
haven't lived. They have lived longer than you in some aspects, and they have experienced the world in a way you haven't. They're in that position because of the experiences God took them through to qualify them for that position. And when you can apply these 3 steps of action, you will indeed gain the trust of your apostle. And the first action is to show up.
Amen.
Had Michael not actually shown up to that garden, picked up that pitchfork, and begun tilling the ground, even if it was wrong, Apostle Craig would not have been able to come out there, see his hard work, and give him the instruction he needed in order to actually till the ground. So, champion, show up. Show up to church early. Make sure those chairs are put out. Be the last one to leave. Make sure the chairs are put away. Find a place to serve. Find somewhere to invest into the people, into the church. If you see that that door is creaky and the pastor has commented on it, you know what? Make sure you bring some WD-40 with you next time to grease
Yes,
that
amen.
hinge so it stops squeaking in the middle of service. Find those things where you can begin to serve, pour out, and invest. I just want to share this one thing when it comes to this point. A lot of us prophets, we feel very secure in our spiritual eyes and abilities to see things that need to be fixed or changed, like in structural areas. But prophet, that's not what's going to qualify you to gain the trust of your leader. Because they can see your skills. Trust me, leaders have the eyes to see you. They see what you have to contribute.
So good.
But what they want to know is, will this person show up on time? Will this person be there when I need them most?
Exactly, because champion, you become a pillar that they can lean on. You see, in that moment, when you show up without being asked, when you show up and you just do it and you work, you are able to be recognized as a standing pillar that your leader has access to, that they can say, finally, I trust Michael in doing this one job. I can give him another job now.
Which leads us onto step number 2. Just do it. Don't wait around for permission or to be asked to do something. Go and do it.
You know, I was reminded when we were working on these podcast notes of what Dr. Steve Green said to us. He said, do the hard thing. Work like an evangelist. And what that means is, prophets, when it feels uncomfortable, when you don't want to wake up early to go to church to set up and help the pastor out, cleaning those toilets, when you don't want to go and actually start doing that online course because it's going to inconvenience your time at home or your sleep schedule, do it. Work hard today so that you can stand in who you are, that your leader can trust you, so that by tomorrow you can add another skill set to your tool belt.
Follow through on the instruction. Show them that you've got the stick ability.
Come on.
The ability to stick around even when it gets tough. It's fun to hang out and serve when you're getting the acclaim, when people are noticing that, hey, this newbie is stepping up. But once the glam and the glitz fall away, are you still going to be counted? Are you still a mighty man that is sticking by David's side, even in the middle of nowhere, even when you are running around as mercenaries and counted as the enemy? Are you still sticking around and proving your loyalty to that king? You know, David's mighty men, they followed that instruction through to the end until the task was done or it was taken from them or added to. And champion, if you want to see your leader begin to lean on you more and trust you more, then stick through with that instruction. Stick through with that servanthood. Just do it.
Just do it. Pro tip, when you stick it through to the end. That was the key word there that Deborah was saying. Stick it through until the job is done. Don't just start for the first Sunday. Oh, I cleaned the toilets this week, so I don't have to do it next week. Prophet, start cleaning toilets for 2-3 years straight, and then go and follow up on the next task your pastor has for you. That right there is a champion. And that right there is how you're going to gain your leader's trust. And if you need more help, I want you to do me a huge favor. Look in the show notes. There's a book called Rise of the Prophetic Champions. Go and get that book. You can get it in a bulk sale. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at the Collect Touch store. Download that book. Read through it. See the legacy of standing as a champion and who you are, prophet. This is you. You are one that has stickability. You are one that shows up.
Your final step of action is to adapt, to study the protocols, memorize the protocols, and then begin to teach it to others. Because a leader's not looking for anybody who will just do it. They're also looking for somebody who will adapt the way they do it.
Exactly.
They will do it how they would do it. They would say it the way they would say it. Do you know the language of your church? Do you know their dress codes? Do you know the way they act? Do you know the way he would speak it, the way he would teach it, the way he wants it done? I remember in a recent ministry trip, Prophet Rich Vera gave a shout out to Pastor Rebecca because she had figured out what his favorite flavor of coffee was. And before the meeting, she made sure while she was picking up coffee for our apostles to stop by and get his favorite coffee, so that by the time he got to the meeting, he had a full venti Starbucks of his favorite coffee there waiting for him. And that is the kind of action that gains the trust of a leader.
Exactly.
Not that you just got him the coffee, but that you went that extra step to find out what his favorite flavors are and get it there at the right time so that it would still be hot.
Love that. Champions, arise. We're calling you higher. Come higher with us. We're your big brother and sister. So we're going to be there to pull you out of those pitfalls. We're going to be there to help you with those lending hands and those pro tips and to the watch out moments. We're going to be there every step of the way. We're here to help accelerate your process.
This is your big brother and sister getting ready to sign off and hand the mic over to Pastor Jessica Toach. For now, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, reach out to us on myprophetictribe.com. We are here for you to equip you and accelerate your prophetic call.